new insulins, biosimilars, and insulin therapy. It's not only me, it's of course Lutz, Heinemann, and Bolinder. So the one big thing in the long-acting insulins and in the type 2 diabetes space was identified by Jan being the once-weekly insulin with a half-life of approximately 8 days with a rather flat and stable pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic profile with a low peak-to-trough variation, and which allows once-weekly administration. Of course, now gives us a completely new approach potentially to diabetes therapy. And there was one big phase 2 trial, once-weekly icodec versus once-daily Glargine U-100, 26 weeks, double-blind, double-dummy, treat-to-target trial in 247 insulin-naive subjects with type 2 diabetes on metformin with plus-minus DPP-4 inhibitors. So maybe some of you have seen the data. It's quite impressive and shows certainly that you're not doing worse than Glargine. There are many questions now that in the ongoing trial program will be looked at. How about the dosing and titration? I mean, we're such an insulin, how do we do it? And also the amounts of insulin that we're giving per injection, how will the people cope with that? How is it with the hypoglycemia risk? Is this something only for type 2 or possibly also for type 1? How do you deal with acute intercurrent illness, heavy exercise, and what are the ideal candidates for such a once-weekly insulin? My personal thought is maybe more people than we initially think about, but you may have different opinions on that one. So this was what Jan told us all about. Now, to move to the biosimilar space, you see in our chapter, Lutz has put together 2 tables, and of course also a lot of trials there. I think what is really impressive is that the biosimilars are here to stay. You see that there are several approved biosimilar insulins in Europe, United States, and China, although the processes of approval are different in different areas. There are several companies who have kind of shown that they are interested in put biosimilar insulins on the market, which still may not have happened, but you see it's certainly something of big commercial interest. And I think if you look through the different publications we have put together, you see that it will be important that this is supported by good science and good studies, and we really have to ask for that also biosimilar insulins should be studied thoroughly. Now, I'm, as you know, a big fan of time and range, and I think this is something which will be becoming more and more important to study insulins, to use CGM data, and also use it in the real world. So this is a German study, apologies to show an own study, but where we really used intermittent scanning glucose in people with type 1 diabetes on MDI, and to see, well, is really there a change in the time and range. You see significant changes. We can, of course, discuss how clinically relevant these are, but it was kind of surprising, first of all, if only you change your bolus insulin, that you actually get changes during the daytime, not so much in the hypoglycemia area, but particularly reducing hyperglycemia. So also in the area of rapid-acting insulin, I think the big question is now, which is the ideal pump insulin? Do we need to tweak the algorithms of our automated insulin delivery devices towards the different insulins? Do we immediately, does always a quicker, shorter insulin mean a better insulin in the different automated insulin delivery devices? Again, a new and open field, and I think this is going to be very relevant in the upcoming times to really see what is the ideal pump insulin. Is it a different ideal pump insulin in different devices and things like that? Many open questions here. So the last seconds I have, I just want to say a very big thank you. This picture was taken like 20 minutes ago, and it just is supposed to show you that the yearbook is a labor of love, and it's really fun together with colleagues working with that, and Jan has been a fantastic colleague for 13 editions we have worked together. It was such a pleasure, and I just want to give him really a very big thank you. And of course, there's always somebody new when somebody else decides that it has been enough fun over the time and he wants to step down. And so it also means hello to Thomas Pieber, whom we will look forward to work this together, Lutz and myself, to do the next edition. So thank you very much for the attention. I stayed on time.